So before we begin, inshallah, we would just play the national anthem. If we can all rise, if possible, for the national anthem. Thank you. Now we will move towards the recitation of the Holy Quran. I would like to invite Mr. Humayun Beg to select a few verses. Thank you.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أقم الصلاة لدلوك الشمس إلى غسق الليل وقرآن الفجر إن قرآن الفجر كان مشهودا ومن الليل فتهجد به نافلة لك عسى أن يبعثك ربك مقاما محمودا وقل رب أدخلني مدخل صدق وأخرجني مخرج صدق واجعل لي من لدنك سلطانا نصيرا صدق الله العظيم.
Jazakallah. So the reason we're all gathered here today is to celebrate a milestone achievement, with the primary being Mehran University, IOBM, Mehran University, Dawood University of Engineering and Technology, and Sindh Madrasatul Islam. We have been able to create a consortium which aims to improve the capacity building of each of these institutions and share our specialized skills wherever possible. So I would like to invite the President, Mr. Talib Kareem, here for a few minutes so that he can share his thoughts about this momentous occasion. Thank you.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Dr. Tariq Rafi, Chairman Sindh Higher Education Commission and also Chairman CIC. Mr. Bashir Jan Mohammed, Chancellor of Institute of Business Management. Dr. Abbasi, Vice Chancellor of Dawood University. Dr. Afzal, Vice Chancellor of DHS Sufat. Dr. Zafar, Vice Chancellor, Ilma University. directors, ORIC of our partner universities, faculty members, delegates from our partner universities, and of course, many faculty members present here. Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon. It is indeed a pleasure to be here at this session to formally launch our consortium, which, as was just briefly mentioned, is a consortium of 3 public sector universities and 1 private sector university. And I think, if I'm not wrong, this is the first consortium of this nature which has been financed by HEC. Mehran being the lead university, because the funding goes to the public sector, and of course the partner universities will get some portion of that funding depending on the task they are assigned. I think this would be a great mix of knowledge, of facilities that are available with each one of us, and we can share best practices with each other. So, you know, Mehran, of course, is a lead in a lot of projects they have incubated in Jamshoro. So, you know, the other 3 universities can learn from them. We have established our incubation center at IOBM, which was established in 2019, but it went dormant for at least 2 years because of COVID. So now we have started activating that incubation center, and as I speak, we have just finalized 10 ideas from various universities, including IOBM, Karachi University, I think KSBL, and 1 or 2 other universities, where this is a unique type of incubation process where we are going to incubate these 10 ideas, unique in a sense that we are also going to provide them with the seed money of 500,000 each, just to help them come up with the prototype. And then once they do come up with the prototype, we'll also introduce them to VCs, and some of you have been invited. So if you do like the idea, later on maybe you can come as an equity partner with those ideas. We were also able to send our representative to Silicon Valley just 2 weeks ago, where he was able to connect with VCs in Silicon Valley, and who have been invited to our campus to meet some of these startups and maybe also look at those ideas. So our target for the incubation center is that at least 20% of our students should be able to set up their own businesses. Now, those businesses does not mean huge businesses. It can be a company of 2 to 3 persons, that doesn't matter, as long as they are job creators, not job seekers. Because the way things are going in this country, the way economy is moving, I think there'll be less opportunities in terms of jobs in the market. So I think incubation centers being established in universities will go a long way in incubating a lot of these ideas and encouraging them to come up with those projects. So I hope that you know, with this partnership, other universities will follow the same model, and will you know, I don't know what will happen with HEC's funding because the news is that it's been cut into half to 30 billion rupees, which is very unfortunate. So I hope that does not happen, and at least the amount that was given last year is sustained this year. Otherwise, I think a lot of universities will face issues in terms of funding. So I wish the consortium the very best, and thank you. I think a team just traveled from Jamshoro to be here with us. Thank you very much. And of course, Dr. Abbasi, our partner, and SMIU, I think they're also here. I'm not sure if they're, oh, you are here. Okay, so you are here. And I think you are our junior partner and we are going to take you along with us. So I know you are trying to establish your incubation center at SMIU, and our support is always there for you. So thank you very much, and we can proceed on with our program. Thank you.
Thank you, President Saab. Just to give a quick snapshot of where we are today. So recent studies have shown that Pakistan has received over $365 million in funding over the past year. This has trumped the last 7 years of data that they've collected. So in 1 year, Pakistan has received international funding that surpassed everything that has been collected so far. So this is one thing that shows that Pakistan is a hotbed of activity for international interest. Similarly, one study has shown that there are 250 plus startups operating in Pakistan, but for a population of 220 million, we have to realize that's a very small number. So the market is ripe in agri-tech, in fintech, financial technology, in education technology, in healthcare. So there are all these different areas of operation which are open to any startup that wishes to take part. And each university has its own specialization through its curriculum, through its alumni, through its different skills and platforms that they have, which can be leveraged to capitalize on these through the synergies that inshallah we will be creating. One thing I wanted to just highlight, there are certain things in our life which have become so ingrained, such as Google, Facebook, all these different technologies. One thing tied them together, that they were started out from universities. So Google was an initiative of 2 PhD students from Stanford. Facebook was created at a dorm in Harvard. Similarly, Time magazine, which is one of the leading publications, was started from an editorial board established at Yale University. So there's nothing stopping Pakistani universities from also creating such kind of milestones. And inshallah, we hope that through this consortium, we can identify companies that can become the next Google and Facebook and Time magazine. I would now like to invite the chief guest, Dr. Tariq Rafi, for a few words on, because every startup and every institution needs good leadership, and this is inshallah where we would be expecting guidance.
Thank you very much for inviting me to this very important consortium funding by Federal HEC. Mr. Bashir Jan Mohammed, Mr. Talib Karim, Faizul Abbasi Saab, Abzarul Haq Saab, Mansoor Saab, all the honorable vice chancellors, deans, and people from Auric. This incubation centers are probably the most important thing that we need at a university. The reason why I'm saying this is because I had a tour with the Federal HEC for study tour to England. We went to the Imperial College London, we went to Cambridge, Oxford. The most important thing that they had were the incubation periods. As I am a doctor myself, a physician, I'm an ENT specialist, most of the drugs which are produced in the world are made in the laboratories of the universities. And then they are being patented and sold to the pharmaceutical companies. You see, those universities which are not going into research probably will fade away in the period of time to come. What we are producing today as graduates, masters, PhDs, unfortunately, as Abbasi Sahib has said, do not make relevance to the ground reality. And that is why they find it very difficult to find jobs for themselves. The HEC Sindh had arranged, last week we had a showcase for projects at the Expo Center for all the universities, and 32 universities participated. I think 32 universities from Sindh participated in it, both public and private sector. And there were more than 900 projects which were showcased from different universities. Students have come up with ideas, very bright ideas. So you see, we have the talent. We have the talent of the students who can do it. What we need is that we need to project that, and we need to encourage that. And for that, I think from Sindh HEC, we have discussed with it that we'll be doing it every year, projecting and showcasing all the new projects that they have. At the same time, we invited the industry. We invited the Karachi Chamber and the Federal FPCCI to come over. Many of the things were discussed between the entrepreneurs with the students, and some of them will be probably materialized, and then it will be taken up with the industry. There were so new things, so new projects which are basically because of the positive thinking or the critical thinking that the students have. Unfortunately, as the Bazi Sahib said, and Bashir Sahib also said, we do not have people who are critical thinking. It's not the fault of students, it's the fault of our basic education. हमारी education जो है ना रट्टा लगाने वाली. We do not allow our children to think. और अगर किसी class के अंदर some students start asking questions. I am a teacher myself. I have been in Jinnah Hospital as a professor for 17 years in ENT, and I have been teaching throughout my life. So I know that a lot of my students who are now medical doctors, graduates from Sindh Medical College, if some of them ask 2 or 3 questions, the teachers get upset. They don't tolerate that. What they tolerate is a submission. Whatever the lecturer is given, good or bad, the students should accept that. We have to change, as teachers also we have to change. We have to encourage them to bring thought. As Bazi Sahib said, we can talk for hours and hours, nobody to stop. So I'll just stop over here. But I'm thankful to the consortium that they have taken this initiative. Definitely the most important thing that we need today. And as far as you said about the 30 billion slashed down to, Sindh will be suffering from 11 billion, will be getting around 5 billion, 6 billion loss. So almost all the universities which are giving funding from the federal HEC will be halved, approximately. So we have requested the Murad Ali Shah Sahib to give an appointment to Sindh HEC to fill the gap and to find some way out so that we can get the. But I had a meeting yesterday, sir, in this regard. और मैंने सबसे ये कहा कि देखिए, why are universities not self-reliant? Why is it that they are always begging for money? आप लोग अपने प्रोडक्ट्स लाएं, चीज़ें लाएं, मार्केट में बेचें, खुद सेल्फ रिलायंट हो. आप दुनिया भर में चले जाएं, ऑक्सफोर्ड चले जाएं, आप हार्वर्ड चले जाएं, it's their own money that they generate, either through endowment fund, other means. The students that they have, the fee that they get, they are not dependent upon governments to support them. And when you are dependent upon them, then आपको उनकी policy follow करनी पड़ती है. फिर आप शिकायत करते हैं कि सिफारिशी भर्ती हो गए, सिफारिशी लोग आ गए. So I think we have to rethink and reschedule our own finances. Thank you once again, Tarif sir, for inviting me. I'm really grateful and look forward for a very successful event that you have today.
Similarly, this incubation center initiated in 2019. Getting it started took a lot of effort, and I would like to call, well, it's a recorded message. The advisor to the incubation center, Mr. Mehboob Kareem, he sent us a video which he asked us to play for the event, and I'd just like 10-15 minutes of everyone's time, if we can just go over the vision of the incubation center and how he imagined it.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. My name is Mehboob Kareem, and I'm from the Institute of Business Management. Today, I want to take this opportunity to talk to you about HEC-funded Sindh Consortium for Business Incubation Centers. Consortium consists of 4 universities from Sindh, 3 in public sector and 1 in private sector. So we're going to talk about consortium's vision, mission, and 5-year strategy. So let's get started. So our presentation is about HEC-funded Sindh Consortium of universities for business incubation centers. This is a 5-year strategy from 2022 to 2027. The consortium consists of 4 universities. We have Mehran University, which is the leading university for this consortium, Mehran University of Engineering and Technology in Jamshoro. Institute of Business Management is a private university based in Karachi. We have Dawood University of Engineering and Technology based in Karachi, again, public sector university, and Sindh Madrasa al-Islam University based in Karachi from public sector. So our objective for consortium is to create jobs. For now, for Sindh, where we are focusing, but eventually at the national level. We would like to create businesses for Pakistani youth, which is aligned with national priorities. Our objective is to promote ideas based on technology-based, futuristic-driven innovation, and establish a collaborative work environment, which would provide a cost-effective, value-added services to startups. And that would include mentoring, legal advice, financial, technical, intellectual related services. So at the end, what we're going to build is a vibrant startup ecosystem by establishing a network between academia, financial institution, industries, and other institutions. So Sindh Consortium incubation center strategy has got 7 pillars. The first one, obviously, which all the universities need to establish, is infrastructure. So we'll be establishing state-of-the-art facilities and resources. Some of the universities which are partners have already accomplished that, and others will be doing in due course. The other very important strategic pillar is identifying tech-enabled innovative startups, which are driven by technology and ESG segments. This may include startups which are focusing on fintech, AI, robotics, 3D, biotech, blockchain, and e-commerce. Then we have capacity building component, which is really very, very important component for our strategy. This would provide effective capacity building and mentoring to startups. Then we look into funding mechanism to establish seed and equity funding for our startups. We would also focus on financial viability to ensure financially viable growth and development of the startup on continuous basis. Then we have linkages with industry and academia, under which we will develop linkages with relevant stakeholders in industry and academia. And last but not least, we have post-incubation support for startups when they graduate from our incubation. So that will be a continuous support which will be provided to startups once they graduate. So our incubation cycle consists of 3 stages. First stage, which we're calling is a pre-incubation, which will run every year from February to May. In this stage, we will identify our startups through different means, and we're going to hold a grand challenge to do a selection on merit basis. And these startups must meet fundamental requirement that they need to be innovative and tech-based with tech-based ideas. Their concept should be supported by some pre-concept research, and they must have a fully formed cohesive team to be eligible or to be selected, and obviously fully committed. Stage 2, which is basically is the incubation stage, which starts from June to December. In this 6 months period, we will secure seed funding for selected startups, and then we will impart training, mentoring, coaching. We will help them to develop product prototype, at least a minimum viable product during this 6 months, and give them opportunity to network, do market research, and further develop their technology and innovate. The outcome from this stage is a business concept that is complete, tested, and bankable, supported by MVP and an investor-ready business plan. Stage 3, which is a post-incubation and is an ongoing stage. This stage starts when startups have completed their incubation in our incubation cycle and have reached a feasible phase to run its business independently. So some of the activities which will include in post-incubation are business implementation, business ongoing evaluation, looking opportunities for Series A and B financing, and continuous improvement. So outcome of this stage is that startup can implement their business with profit-oriented and long-term viability. So the capacity building is a journey for us and for startups. So we are partner as institutions with our startups through this journey. So we take startups with a very basic idea and build foundation. And in early stages, we basically work with them and guide them, and then start building capacity as they gain speed toward learning, until they become a professional enough to start taking over responsibility, and we start coaching and mentoring and observing to the point they gain mastery, and then they get sustainable enough to ride on their own, and then we provide support from back end. So this process, which starts from June and goes till November, is done in our incubation center. And what we are planning that this incubation center, which we'll talk more about later on, is either going to be a virtual or actually it's going to be both virtual and physical. So it's a hybrid concept where we will be conducting capacity building and training and mentoring virtually, because we expect to have startups not only from throughout Sindh, but in future we'll have it throughout Pakistan. So we should be able to have tools so we can build capacity wherever these startups are. That said, these startups will be part of local incubation centers, which will be part of our partner universities, and that's where they will be physically developing their product. And we're going to talk about this a little bit more later. So our integrated training program consists of 6 modules, and these are industry standard courses which are conducted by real professionals who are currently working with startups as we speak. So these are instructors, professionals, qualified people who have worked with startups in digital branding and sales, strategy development, which they develop vision, business case, risk management. We have trainers who are qualified in product development, life cycle, proof of concept, providing IP and legal services. And then we have a course in investor readiness and finance. And then we have agile project management course, which we conduct during this 6-month period. So as I talked about earlier, there's a pre-incubation stage 1 stage where we would select our startups through a grant challenge. And the procedure is pretty simple. It's a 3-step procedure. We announce, and the startups from wherever university, HEC recognized university, apply, and then they compete and then win the grant. So simple process, but it's a competition. So the criteria for applying is pretty simple. We want to give an equal opportunity to all early stage startups, regardless of the association or affiliation with either partner universities or anyone university, as long as it's HEC recognized university. So the grant which they win will be used through the 6-month incubation period to develop their capacity, to develop their product, and many other areas, and it's not to be paid back. So it's a grant and must be used for seed money. Under this program, we also have corporate engagement program where we would contacting industries to come and participate and collaborate with our startups. We understand that there are many technology-driven companies, and their core focus is obviously their own product. But most don't have in-house R&D capabilities to indulge in innovative projects. So what we are offering to these industries and corporations is an opportunity to come and join us as a partner and be part of our startups incubation process and leverage their insights and ideas into solutions. So this will make companies need to spend less and innovate more. So it's a great opportunity for a partnership, and it's a win-win situation. So I promise we'll come back to this. Our model, which we are proposing, is an integrated remote incubation center. Also, we're calling it IRIC. This is a virtual environment, a collaborative environment, where all these startups come together and build capacity, do networking, and collaborate. In a pre-incubation stage, there is a grant challenge will be had. They will be shortlisted and will be finalized before they enter into collaborative work environment. Again, I like to emphasize this is a hybrid model where we do collaboration both virtually and then physically based in our incubation centers, where startups will be developing their products and interacting with faculty and also their coaches and mentors. So a hybrid approach, but have enough reach out to throughout Sindh for anybody from anywhere who wants to join our incubation program virtually, and then incubate within the center of the partner universities in Sindh. So our program will be evaluated through evaluation process. We have developed key performance indicators which are aligned with the HEC scorecard. So we will evaluate program on annual basis. We have targets to reach, by 2027. So our most important target is to graduate 100 startups annually from our program eventually. So these startups initially will be focusing on Sindh for first couple of years, and we will scale it up to throughout Pakistan. So this year we are incubating 20, and we'll be increasing that on annual basis until we reach a target of 100 graduating annually. 100% of these startups will be supported by seed money. So that's our target. 2022, we have achieved that. All our startups, which will be incubated this year, will have secured seed money. We have a mentoring program. We have engaged 8 trainers and mentors this year, and by 2027, we will reach up to 25, which will be supporting our program by 2027. 100% startups within our program will develop capacity before graduating. We have established 6 training programs which are focused on our business and management courses for startups, and we will increase that to 10 by 2027. 75% our startups will be able to scale up to secure further funding, and that's our target. 100% of those, all startups will have ESG segments incorporated into their plan. And 90% of startups who will graduate will be part of our post-incubation strategy. So these are our targets aligned with HEC targets, and we hope to monitor them on annual basis. So thank you very much for your time. And if you have any question, please reach out to us.
So we would like to move on with the program. I would like to invite Dr. Inamullah Bhatti from Mehran University for a few short words on how we will be aligning the program, inshallah, and taking it forward. Dr. Inamullah.
Beginning with the name of Allah, all the dignified guests, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. That the opportunity which comes to connect the Karachi and all other universities apart from the Karachi in the Sindh, they can be having good initiative. So I have already contact with the Dawood Engineering University and Sindh Madrasa University. So I invited and offered both of the universities that you should be the part of the consortium. And we started meetings together. So first meeting was held over here in IOBM. Then many number of the meetings were held online and in physical over here and in Mehran University also. Then we come up with the final outcome, submitted the proposal, and luckily throughout the Pakistan, federal HEC only funded 2 consortium proposals. In Sindh only this one is the case, and other one is UET Punjab. So I think, and the proposal was maximum funding provided by the HEC was 24 millions, and we submitted the proposal around about 24 millions, and we succeeded to win the amount 23.69 millions. That is the 60% by the federal government, and 40% will be bared by the universities on their own. And this business incubation center, I think for us, Mehran University, we have started since 2016. The institute, ORIC department, along with the Center of Innovation and Entrepreneurship. At present, about 30 startups we have prepared, and they are in the market. And with the federal and provincial government, we are still having more other projects on which we are guiding or training the startups. One is the federal government's project, that is National Incubation Center expansion, and that is also in the Mehran University, but this is the different one. What I wanted to get from this incubation consortium, that is the connectivity of the rural and the this metropolitan city. What I believe, that Indus civilization itself is the nation or generation of the business peoples. By born, we are the traders. If I see when I am always talking about this, that have we ever thought about this, that from where this word industry comes? If it is industry, what is the connection? I believe it is from the Indus. As the indigo word comes from the blue ink or blue dye, which is the product of Indus also, that's why it's indigo. The same way I believe that this is the industry which comes from the Indus Valley civilization. And Sindhvarki after that is the one company throughout the world is admired and renowned in the books of the businesses. That the Sindhvarkis, peoples from the Sindh, they have their business markets throughout the world connected with the Indus Valley. So this only the colonial period in which we are being taught and trained to produce the servants. This is because of the day from that colonial period is still our universities and academia, they are focused to produce the servants. So sorry to say that we have not much time, otherwise this is a good topic to discuss on and debate on it, that why we are still producing the servants, why we are not able to produce the thinkers, why we are not able to produce the entrepreneurs, why we are not able to produce the creators. And this consortium will bring a new thing which I feel that the peoples living in the rural area, they are more connected with the soil, they have more passion towards the logical thinking and creative thinking, but they are not much smart. Peoples living in this concrete world are more smarter than those who are living in the rural areas. And what I have seen, that our students who are product of our universities from Mehran to the Shah Abdul Latif University, they are very much talented in their original basic fields, but they are not as much smarter to be placed anywhere in the industries. So this consortium will give them connectivity. And in this, what we have one new thing introduced, that is the integrated remote incubation centers. And with the help of this remote incubation center, I will go into every university of the Sindh and offer the students over there to think about your startups, come up with the ideas, and to being over there in your own city, be connected with this consortium and learn from this. So now this era will start, our peoples will be not the job seekers, but they will be the job provider and they will be the job creators. Thank you very much. I'm again thankful to all of you and IOBM. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir. If we have any basketball fans here, there's a quote by legendary coach Phil Jackson, who coached the Chicago Bulls to victory numerous times. He said, the strength of the team is each individual member, and the strength of each individual member is the team. And inshallah, through this consortium, we hope to become the strength for each other and support each other so that we can all achieve great things. So we cannot have an incubation center related event without having a few short words from incubatees and startups themselves. So we have two startups here. We have Bridgecare, who was in our previous cohort, as well as we have Creative 3D, which is also, I think, present here. So I'd like to invite Momina and her team first, if you would like to say a few short words about your startup journey and where you, how you've progressed, basically.
Assalamu alaikum. I would like to start by expressing how honored I am to be here among all of you today. Standing here, giving this speech is nothing short of an opportunity that I would like to thank IOBM for. Every idea has a beginning. Think of it as a bud ready to bloom. Our project, Bridgecare, me and my teams, also started off as a notion for an elder healthcare program for those parents whose children were not here, like our expat Pakistanis. It was a notion which was backed by a very strong emotion. You can say an emotion of a child. Now to bloom, a bud needs water. It needs sunlight. It needs the right temperature and many other elements. So these elements were provided to us by the trainers and the mentors of the Emir S. Kareem Grant Program through a course of 6 months. They are one of the best in their respective fields. And their one aim was to make sure that our flight was ready to take off into the world we call market. So after 6 months of rigorous training, of hard work, our journey finally came to an end. Now every end also has a new beginning. Today, Bridgecare stands with 350 plus customers, partnership with the likes of Salam Takaful, Advanced Labs, Dow University of Health Sciences, the prestigious Stanford University, the government of Pakistan, and we have also established a consortium in USA and are in the works of pre-seed funding. Thank you, Institute of Business Management. Thank you, Mr. Mehboob Kareem. Thank you, the trainers, the mentors, and everyone who worked so hard in helping us to be where we are standing today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Momna. I would like to invite Bilal, who is the founder of Creative 3D, and he will tell you a bit about his business and, mashallah, where they've gone.
Assalamu alaikum everybody. First of all, I am really grateful for giving me this opportunity to talk over here. I would not steal the limelight. I'm not the founder. My partner Atif is the founder. I'll share a small story. हम लोग कहाँ से कहाँ तक पहुँचे और ये journey कैसी गुजरी. So it was just an idea of a creative person कि यार मैं किस तरीके से अपनी ना होने के बराबर resources से कुछ कर सकूँ. तो starting off with that, एक CD रोम से एक रोबोटिकल आर्म बनाना जो पेंटिंग कंप्यूटर में एम्बेड हो वो पेन से ड्रॉ करे. तो व्हेन आई सॉ दैट आई वाज एस्टोनिश्ड. आई वाज लाइक यार दिस इज द रियल टैलेंट ऑफ पाकिस्तान. Moreover, it was a good opportunity where me and Atif met at IOBM Incubation Center. Unfortunately, COVID hit us and it was really bad. उसके बाद हमारा SSK Grant Challenge आया, where we got the opportunity from Jahangir Jahan Mohammed and Bashir Jahan Mohammed, जिन्होंने हमें सबसे पहली funding दी to make our first industry level 3D printer. We had no experience कि हम किस तरह से बनाएंगे, but it was just the will to do it. And alhamdulillah, after that the journey has been really smooth. Currently we have a lot of customers in the market, जिसमें से agencies भी हमारी customers हैं. We have different universities on board जिनके लिए हम products बना रहे हैं. Recently we've also been into medical industry, जहाँ पे हम bones, casts and stuff like that को manufacture कर रहे हैं. And alhamdulillah, we are very proud to be one of those startups जो पाकिस्तान में 3D printer manufacture कर रहे हैं and 3D printing services दे रहे हैं. So that's a small journey and it wouldn't have been possible without the support of IOBM and the mentors. And we can't express our gratitude कि हम कितना खुश हैं to be a part of it. And all the startups that would be a part of this incubation center जो भी होगा, तो we would wish them all the best and I would advise them कि जितना हो सके इनसे फ़ायदा उठाएं, क्योंकि इनसे फ़ायदा उठाएंगे तो खुद सक्सीड करेंगे. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bilal. I just wanted to point out one thing he failed to mention, that not only are they doing 3D printing, but they're also training other people now on how to go about 3D printing and actually spread the awareness regarding this industry itself. So with this we can, near the end of the ceremony, head towards wrapping up the event. But before that, we would still like to recognize the people who've made the time here, recognize their contributions to creating the consortium a success, basically. So I'd like to invite the president to hand out a few tokens of appreciation to our guests, which I would be inviting to. Abia? So if we can start out with the chief guest, Dr. Tariq Rafi. We would like to express our appreciation in a small token. Please. From Dawood University, I would like to invite their Vice Chancellor, Dr. Abbasi Saab, to receive the token of appreciation. From Mehran University, I would like to invite Dr. Anamullah Bhatti to receive the token of appreciation from our chief guest. From Sindh Madrasatul Islam, I would like to invite Dr. Jamshed Adil, the Dean of Management, to receive the token with his team. Thank you. Okay. Dr. Afzal, we would like to invite you to receive a token of appreciation as well. Thank you. Dr. Zafar, Dr. Mansoor Zafar, please, if you can receive the token of appreciation. Thank you, everyone, for your time. We have to present for our chancellor as well, Mr. Bashir Saab. We would like to share a token of appreciation.